My dear sisters and brothers, in the first reading of today, Amos could see through the abuses of the powerful. He wrote this in 750 BC. He did not come from a line of professional prophets. He was a shepherd. His gift with words exposes the priorities of the powerful and their lack of attention towards the needy. Amos challenges those living in luxury and indifferent to the sufferings of the people, for the focus on self can stop us from our responsibility towards others. In the Gospel, in all the parables of Jesus, only one person is given a name, and that's in today's Gospel. It is a person who had been totally neglected, Lazarus, a name which means God is my help. The name reveals the compassion of God. The message is that God notices, cares, and acts out of love. The Gospel reminds us that God has the last word over rich and poor. We have plenty of guidance on what God expects us. We have the prophets like Amos, the scriptures, the social teachings of the church, the preaching and example of Christ, and the witnesses of the saints. This should focus our attention and our priorities to God's ways of living. Our faith compels us to be committed to working for justice and against poverty. Poverty in the broadest sense, the lonely, the sick, the bereaved, those trapped in addiction or anxiety, those unable to forgive. There is a link between blindness and sin. The rich man in the parable is not accused of gaining his wealth by unjust means. His sin is the sin of omission. He failed to see the needy. Self-centeredness leads to this indifference towards others, where we fail to see and feel their suffering. The rich man's sin was not that he was rich, as I said, but that he was not aware enough to share. We all have our personal and communal blind spots. Listening and reflection can help us be more aware of the suffering of others. Our gifts are not for hoarding or self-indulgence. The name of Abraham is mentioned, a reminder that we have a covenant responsibility to each other. God's covenant is with an entire people, which is one family. Pope Leo calls for generosity in sharing not just material goods, but time, presence, and empathy, encouraging the faithful to invest the treasure of their lives in serving others and to become beacons of hope and love in the world. St. John Chrysostom once said, "The rich man is not the one who has much, but the one who gives much. For what he gives away remains his forever." Whether you give materially or spiritually, with time or prayer, with assistance or encouragement, the treasures you invest in others do not fade. They are stored in the heart of God. In a world full of noise and distraction, despair and division, our call is to live with clarity, purpose, and faithfulness. To seek God not just with our words, but with our lives. To be homes of prayer, hearts of mercy, hands of service. Whether you are full of faith or barely hanging on, today the Lord looks at you with love and says, "You matter to me." Let us continue to walk together, lifting one another up, sharing what we have received, and trusting that God, when we give ourselves, He does something beautiful and eternal with every offering. We are given vision and take our direction from God, and this helps us to act out of love. Love helps us to notice. Love is sensitive, attentive, proactive, generous, and relieves suffering. We all have something we can share, to use our time and resources, giving a priority for the poor. We have the gift of speech to offer a kind word and the gift of compassion because someone somewhere is hurting. Let us make it a habit to make a positive difference in the world every day.